I am totally unemployable, but quitting your job could be a very big mistake. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to explain the reality. No BS around what it takes to escape the 9 to 5 and the person you need to be or become before you ever leave for self-employment, entrepreneurship, and running your own business or personal brand. It requires you to be a beast. And the question is, are you a beast? Are you ruthless? Are you determined? Are you disciplined? And I'm going to go over all of this in today's video. Because if we look on YouTube, there's a divide right now. There's people out there saying, don't quit your 9 to 5 and ignore all these people telling you to escape the matrix, the rat race, the system, because actually having a job's not so bad. Well, if you ask me, I would never go back to a job, ever. Because I have successfully escaped the 9 to 5 and it was hard and it required me to do things that, quite frankly, average people are not willing to do, again, which I'll explain in this video. And then on the other side, there are people painting the image and the picture, especially on social media, that escaping the 9 to 5 is easier. And making 10K is, very achievable, and, Dubai and living in Bali, laptop beach lifestyle and Rolex, Louis Vuitton, Lamborghinis. Well, I'm yet to see any of that, to be honest with you. And I'm doing somewhat well, I would consider, right? But it still requires just a huge amount of work, huge amount of effort and boots on the ground. And I just want you to come away from this video with a no BS approach of what I'm sharing with you and to the reality, right? Because this isn't for the faint-hearted, that's the God's honest truth. But it's possible. It is possible to replace your salary, but we really need to strip this back to the very beginning, right? So bear with me, and do you know what? Even get a pen and paper and take notes. The reality, entrepreneurship basically means you are a full-time problem solver. So when I left my job, and I quit and I shut my laptop and I never went back, I realized now all I do is solve problems every day. You can call yourself a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever. You are a problem solver every single day. There's not one day that I don't have a phone call, email, text message, WhatsApp, whatever, of an issue that I have to sort every single day. But I'm okay with that. I knew that was going to be the case. And I was always happier to build something for myself than build someone else's dreams. I'm always tired, because you work so many hours for yourself. Entrepreneurship basically means early mornings, late nights, working weekends, bank holidays, Christmas Eve, Boxing Day, always forward planning, building teams, outsourcing, thinking all the time. I promise you now, you never stop thinking. But I love it. I love doing that, and I knew that's what I was signing up for. And I have the qualities to maintain this lifestyle. I am very disciplined. I'm good with time management. I'm good with money management. And let's just talk about the 4 evaluations, right? All of you will need to do this before you ever quit your job or ever think about escaping the 9 to 5. 4 evaluations. Self-evaluation. And what that means is really looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, have I got what it takes to be a beast, an animal, to build something for myself, take an idea out of my head and turn it into a cash cow? Can I actually take an idea, put it into a market that is fat and bloated, bring it to life, offer services and products to a market, a consumer market that I have created, or one that is in need of my service or product, aka solving a problem, addressing a pain point for someone, and then sustainably maintain that and actually make money so that I can replace my $1,500, $2,000, $2,500 salary per month in a job? Could I do that? That's what it requires you to do. So that involves the self-evaluation is, can you be the marketer? Can you be the salesman or saleswoman? Can you be the customer service rep? Can you be the refunder? Can you be the video editor? Can you be the designer, the creator? All of this you have to do, right? But again, for me, I was happy to do that because I was like, I want to take control. For me, I wanted ownership of my life. I was never happy being given a life. I wanted to design my life because I was aware that I have everything at my fingertips in order to do that. So it just requires the effort on my part. And entrepreneurship and business gets better, the more years that you're in it. And then there is the social evaluation. If you want to be successful at this, I promise you, surrounding yourself with people who don't want to go anywhere, have no ambitions, and co-workers who are quite happy to plod in life, that's not your social circle. If you are someone like me and you're thinking, yeah, I really do want out the 9 to 5, I'm sick of serving someone else and, working 320 days a year to only get 20 to 28 days off. I do want something for myself, and I do want to make more money, and I want to leave my family, my children, something when I'm gone one day, right? That's what I want. Well, you can do that, but you've got to switch your social circle. If you want to be successful, you have to get around other business owners and entrepreneurs. Your immediate circle of informers and people who you bounce ideas off can't be co-workers that are only earning to the tune of £30,000 a year, because you'll only have conversations to the tune of a £30,000 salary a year. You need to broaden your network with hyper successful people in their niche, in their industries, and basically abstract, just take all of their information and learn from them, and then apply everything that you learn. And then there is your time evaluation. You have to be so good with time. You cannot waste one moment. You can't waste time talking to people about mind-numbing stuff. You can't be watching Netflix loads. You can't be gossiping over a coffee. You cannot waste time, because time is of the essence, because the age of business that we're in right now is so competitive. So there's other people out there competing against you who are utilizing time better than you. And if you do eventually leave your job, well, on average, you're going to get between 160 and 180 hours back a month. What are you doing with that, and how you allocate it is really important to going on to being successful. And then finally, there's the financial evaluation. You know, how do you manage your money? Are you in debt already? Are you in desperation? Are you financially dependent on a job? Have you overspent? Do you finance a car? Do you finance all your holidays? If you're in a bad financial situation already, you're not ready for business. And business isn't an answer to escaping your bad financial situation and your bad financial habits. You need to get your financial habits in order, not blaming anyone else. Get those in order before you can ever think about starting a side business or a full-time business to leave your job into. Because I promise you, when you start earning profits, and even if you're in a business where it has profit and loss margins, you will crumble if you can't even manage one salary. So get your finances in order. After that, it's ignoring the shiny penny syndrome. Stop looking at social media, which is lying to you about what the reality of business is. It's not easy. It's not overnight. It's not Dubai. It's not tens of thousands of pounds a month. It can be, but for the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you're probably going to make less money when you escape your job than you did in your job, in most cases, right? And I was always okay with that, because I was financially managing my money correctly anyway, so I was prepared, if I needed to live on less during the growth phase of my business when I left my job. But if you think and you believe that you're going to suddenly earn 10, 15, 20,000 pounds a month because you've fallen, and you believe the shiny penny syndrome, you're not ready to quit your job, because you don't know the reality of how hard it really is. Now, the other thing is, stop choosing business models or thinking about doing things because an industry is paying heavily for marketing adverts. So on Instagram, for example, or YouTube or TikTok or any other platform, and you keep seeing Amazon FBA, e-com, Forex, you know, whatever it might be, SaaS, reselling luxury items, because they've got heavy marketing behind them. Stop picking that thing because it keeps popping up in your face and thinking, well, I've got no skill sets, I've got no information or no knowledge or no experience in e-com or Amazon FBA, but I'm just going to start that because it keeps popping up in my face and I'm easily influenced. So that's what I'll do. You have to build a business or a personal brand to replace your job around something, and I put it like this: if you were never going to get paid for it. That's the way you need to look at a business startup. What would I do Monday to Monday if I was never going to be paid for it, but I just really want to serve customers, help them solve problems, and I want to do this for the next 2 to 3 years without earning a penny? That's possibly your business model or your personal brand message. That's what you want to focus on. And also finding a gap in the market. Do not pick a business because you've seen it pop up all over social media, because that is the quickest way you're going to fail. And that's where I see people coming into very quick problems and then they end up straight back in a job. Now, you also need more the mindset, by the way, what we're moving on to. You need a why and a purpose, and something that is deeply rooted to what is going to drive you out of the 9 to 5. You need to be in a place where you want it so badly, you're willing to do the things necessary. So I remember there was one moment in my 9 to 5, there was so much politics going on, there was so much office drama, and I got caught up on it, and there was a grievance going on and all this kind of thing. And I remember at the time making a call to my wife and I said, I can't stand it here. I'm so done. Like, I know I'm built for more. I just know that I need more. I want more for us. I want more for our son. And I don't care how long it takes me. I don't care what I've got to do. I don't care how many hours I've got to work, the weekends. I am going to get out of this job because I am built for more. I'm just not prepared to waste my time. You know, my son came into my life as I was turning 20. So thankfully, this light bulb moment happened in my 20s. And I just started learning. I just started networking. I just started listening to podcasts. I was in London all the time, just meeting new people who were inspiring me about business and teaching me. And my mindset just was blown. And I would then listen to co-workers talking about just rubbish. And you know, the other thing is as well, I had a light bulb moment when my son came into my life. I thought, I need to really give him the best life. And I do. I think about when I'm not here one day, what am I going to leave him with? And there is a great quote, which I just live by. And this is one of my favorites by Tim Grover. If you think the price of winning is too high, wait till you get the bill from regret. And what that means is if you're not prepared to do what it takes to win, you wait till you get to the age where regret chases you and regret bites you. And then you got to pass that bill down to your children. Like, where does that stop for all of you? My parents weren't rich. In fact, as far as I'm aware, I don't think anyone in my family, grandparents, great-grandparents, has ever been any type of business owner or entrepreneurial in the slightest. I'm literally the first one in my family. And I see this as the bill has stopped with me. It is not going to be passed on to my son. So there was no other option. And I've never been given anything. I don't come from money. You know, I love this joke that I'm a trust fund baby. You know, it's a bit of a dad's joke here, but my parents trusted me to fund myself. And I love that one, right? And it's totally true. So I had to take that responsibility. I had my why, I had my reason, and I had my purpose. And you need yours too. And it cannot be driven by money. Because when hard times come, I promise you, the thought of getting a Rolex or Louis Vuitton or flying business class to Dubai is not going to push you through when you have clients pulling out on your back, complaining, giving you a hard time, your marketing's not going correctly, you've got no leads or sales coming in, you don't know why you started the business, imposter syndrome's kicked in, self-doubt, people are judging you left, right and centre. I promise you, earning 10K a month is not going to drive you through all the hard times. Because entrepreneurship is also lonely, by the way. Now, here's the good part. Replacing your salary is possible. So think about it. The average salary is, if we say the US and the UK, right, is between 1,500 quid to say $3,000, right? It's in between that. Is that possible to replace? Oh my gosh, yes. Of course. There are so many business models. There are so many opportunities. It can be a personal brand. You could earn money from YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, brand deals, sponsorships. You know, there are a million ways to replace your income. And actually the process is quite simplistic. Find a gap in a market that's fat and bloated, find a solution, collect enough data that indicates that you could solve a problem, create something, put your spin, your experience, your passion and your knowledge into it, and then go after it every day and be consistent and be disciplined until the business starts to generate sales. The actual process is quite simple, but becoming the person who can show up consistently every single day through the good, the bad, the ugly, and do the hours, work your 9 to 5, work your 6 to 11, work your 9 to 5, work your 6 to 11, 7 days a week, for the first 3 years, you'll have a business that works, you would have replaced that average salary, and now you've left your job and you're in a full-time business. But let me remind you this, when you leave the 9 to 5, you've now taken back control of your life, so now you've designed a life, which is great, box ticked, but now you've gone from a 9 to 5 to potentially an 18-hour day. And that's what it's going to take. And again, you have to be okay with that. It's not a case of when you escape your job, you're like, oh, done and dusted now. I just put my feet up and book the trip to Bali. No, it's not like that. It's time to triple down. It's not even double down, triple down. And you have to self-drive. No one's going to tell you to do this. You know, things don't happen overnight. And it's consistency and volume of everything, like volume in content, volume in sales, volume in outbounding, volume in lead generation, volume in collecting data, volume in organizing phone calls, introductions, networking. It's volume, volume, volume. It's keeping your mindset very strong, which is also why I talk a lot about fitness and keeping in a healthy body, because it will allow you to perform so much better than opposed to being overweight. You know, I always say people who are fit and healthy and, you know, drink clean, eat clean, perform so much better in business because your clarity and your mindset is so much better than someone who's, you know, not only bloated in their gut, but bloated in their mindset. So it is possible to replace your salary and, you know, leave a job. It really is. Now, you only have one life. I want to stress this as well. Do you not think you could push yourself? So when I see these videos of saying, well, you know, a job's not so bad. No, look, I enjoyed my last job and I actually don't have anything against jobs. But my question to every human being watching this is, you could all be healthier, but some of you won't do that until the worst case scenario happens, until you're told by the doctor you've got a health scare. And I find this backwards about humans. If you want a book to check out, by the way, it's called I Know What to Do, So Why Don't I Do It by Dr. Nick Hall, PhD. Great book. It really reminds you that we all know what to do. We know we should try harder. We know we should work out. We know that we should keep developing personally to stimulate our mind, but we don't do it. And typically we don't change our lives until worst case scenario. Someone won't start losing weight dramatically until they've been told you've only got about 3 months to live. Blood pressure's through the roof, cholesterol, heart's ticking away, not that great. And then people think, oh God, I wish I could change. It's like people who get skin cancer. You've just been diagnosed with skin cancer. You should have been wearing sun cream. Oh, I know, but I didn't think to put it on. Yeah, but you knew you should have put it on when you went on holiday. You're fair-skinned, you've been in a heat of 40 degrees in Greece, you should have worn sun cream. Yeah, I know, but you know, it's just a pain, isn't it? Well, now you've got skin cancer. That's the result. You know, so the message behind this is that try, take a risk, back yourself, go for it. What's the worst that could happen? Push yourself. Train harder in the gym. Try to build a business. Try to design your life. Just try. Give it a go and don't be scared of failing. In school, we were told that failure is bad. I didn't go to college or uni, but it's the same. College, uni, failing is bad. Work on your weaknesses. It's all been a lie, quite frankly. You know, paying to a private pension, paying to your corporate pension. I got to be honest, that the whole system is rigged, and the education system isn't broken. It's working perfectly fine, churning out worker bees who believe jobs are safe and secure and business is risky. And I do not believe that. I believe business is where the security is, because you take responsibility, accountability, and ownership, and you design your life, whereas in a job you're basically saying take my entire life and control it for me. Now I want to ask all of you some questions, and you can let me know the answers in the comments, or anything you're resonating with. Please do let me know in the comments if this is hitting home, if it's waking you up, or any food for thought basically. Are you happy building someone else's dreams? That's my first question to you. Are you happy asking permission for a day off? And to go to a funeral, to book any type of leave if you need it, to ask and let someone know when you're rushing to the hospital because a family member has been taken into hospital, but you have to check out with someone to make sure your shift is covered. Are you happy doing that? I wasn't, by the way. Are you happy to play the 9-to-5 game of office politics, loss of identity, pretending to be someone just so you fit in? Are you happy doing that? Are you happy coming in and booking a holiday to escape your job? You and I both know people who go and say this line, I can't wait to get on holiday and get away from this place. I remember there was guys at my last place and they used to say things like that. And it just sat with me, and I was like, well, why don't you change? No one is stopping you from changing, which is a point we're going to come on to in a minute. Are you also prepared to live with regret that you didn't push boundaries and you didn't try? You didn't give it a go? Are you happy to pass the bill of struggle and pain onto your children? And are you happy to have to ask another adult for permission to do things that you want to do outside of work when you want? You know, can I book a holiday next week because I want to go to my son or daughter's, play, Christmas play, whatever? But just asking permission all the time. Can I have my lunch? I've just got to nip to the toilet. I'll be back. Just constantly at the mercy of someone else. For me, the answer of all of that, no, I wasn't happy. And that's why I was prepared to do whatever it took to make sure that the only person I ever answer to, which is the case for me now, is me. I don't answer to anyone. No one. I don't answer to anyone, and I feel so content. I'll tell you one thing, right? When you build your own business and you start generating your own money, you feel happier, and I do believe money solves 90% of all day-to-day problems. I am so calm and chilled. Like, I don't buy into the cost of living. I don't watch the news. I don't focus on anyone else. I'm just so relaxed. Like, even doing this YouTube video, you know, this is a blessing. I mean, it's, you know, 3:30 on a Friday afternoon. I'm very calm, you know, I'm just sitting here chill. I've got my notepad, I'm talking to you, I'm gonna go out, I'll have my dinner tonight. I don't worry about, oh my God, I've got to go see this person, or, you know, I didn't complete that project, or, you know, is my job at risk, or, oh, there's promotions coming up and they want me to go for it, but I don't. And does that mean they're not gonna think I'm loyal? And all these mind games of the 9 to 5, which are so real, right? You know, studies show that the mental health issues that people have in the 9 to 5 are far greater than someone who starts a business. You'll actually find, and I think there's a little lie somewhere out there, is that people who run their own businesses are more stressed than employees. I promise you now, there are enough studies showing that employees are far more affected mentally than business owners who own businesses sort of from 2000 onwards, you know, more in the digital age where, you know, we have the luxury of, you know, my laptop's up in the house, but I pretty much run my entire life off my phone. And that's really the only risk, is everything for me is digital and online predominantly, apart from our events company. And I'm just like calm. And the other thing I want to say to all of you is, what is your excuse now? So if you were struggling with money, what is your excuse? Because you can go make more money. Don't blame your employer. If you haven't got rich parents, well, don't blame your parents for that. They just didn't do what was necessary. You know, they didn't pay the bill. You know, it didn't stop with them. They've passed it on to you. You can't blame anyone else. You know, if you're not happy in a relationship, if you're not happy in your job, no one's stopping you from making a change. Only you. Only your own mindset. You're defeating yourself. Self-doubt is holding you back. You know, no one is stopping you from starting a business, but you might fall on the, well, I haven't got time. You know, well, Aaron, you know, it's easy for you to say that. You know, I've got kids. Yeah, I had a baby. You know, I was the only income. No support, no network. I started from scratch. Literally zero to where I am now. Nothing given to me, but I wanted it so badly. And I knew what I was exchanging a 9 to 5 for. I was exchanging the 9 to 5 for 18 hours full on. I'm not at that stage now. Like, you know, I've been in business a while now, so it's a lot more easygoing for me. I have a team and stuff like that now. But I was prepared to do that. And if you're not prepared, then you shouldn't quit your job. Now, I want to just quickly stress the amount of misery that there really is in the 9 to 5. Now, if you check me out, obviously YouTube, but Instagram, my TikTok especially, if you have a look at the type of content that I do and just go through some of the comments, I promise you now, as someone who sees this every single day, there is so much misery, regret, hate, bitterness, you know, just sadness and loss of what to do and confusion, and I suppose just people being unhappy in their 9 to 5s. Like, it's real. I'm not even joking. There are so many people now that know that you could have more, but they don't know what to do, and they're fed up of being devalued, disrespected, no compassion, no empathy, replaced in 72 hours, just all these problems. Office politics, you know, loss of identity is something that's very big right now, is basically where for so long you've pretended to be someone to fit into the workplace that you then go home and you don't really know who you are anymore. And people feel disappointed with themselves that they've been lying their whole life because they've been competing for their job and they've been in a scarcity mindset because they've become financially dependent on the salary, you know, slave wage. Miserable people are real. Like, the 9 to 5 is crushing a lot of people. And I feel that the ones who say that's not true are possibly the ones who are in denial. But again, I'm not knocking jobs. Like, I actually really enjoyed my last job. I just hated the politics, and I hated the fact that at any given moment, despite promotions, length of service, you could be got rid of, and you'd be out the work WhatsApp group in, you know, like that, and you'd be replaced in 72 hours despite your, you know, commitment and loyalty to the company. And that's it. So look, at the end of this video, if you are someone that does want to build a business and you're like, Aaron, that's how I feel, and I'm sure some of you will feel the things that I've been talking about, at the end of this video, and I'll have it just pop up on my face now, my editor will pop it up, a full course tutorial on how to quit your job and build an online business. This is one of the highest ranking videos now on YouTube. I'm super blessed. This will now be at the end of this video, and it is everything you need. I'll equip you and give you all the tools and resources, and this is all for free because it's on my YouTube. There's no selling. This is just literally give, because I truly want to help as many people design a life opposed to being assigned one. There's always going to be workers, but it doesn't have to be me or you. We can go on to have a better life if you are prepared to do what is necessary. And it is tough. It will be one of the hardest things that you ever do. But if you can be humble in growth, if you can live on less and invest the rest, if you can build a lean business, you can give you and your family such a great life, and you can get out of a job. It is possible. For those of you who perhaps, well, you wouldn't have even got to this stage. For those who don't, buy into what I'm saying, and, they think escaping the 9 to 5 is a load of faff and all this lot, well, they wouldn't have even got to this point, to be honest with you. So they would have left within the first 30 seconds. So yeah, really, I'm talking to you who do want more from your life. Go check out that video. It'll give you everything. Go through some of my videos. Honestly, if you were just to binge watch some of my YouTube, there's enough information to get you out of a job if you actually apply everything. I am rooting for every single one of you. Like, this is one of my passions. I love helping people get out the 9 to 5 and start to broaden their mindset and really just change their entire life, all aspects, right? So please do hit like and subscribe if you want to. Leave me a comment. I would love to know what you thought of this video. Again, these are my kind of raw and real, no BS videos. It's just hard hitting, all facts. There's no clickbait. I'm sick of all this clickbait stuff on the internet telling you how easy it is, because I tell you what, I'm 32 and I feel shattered, knackered. I enjoy my life, but my God, I'm pretty much tired all the time, which is why I take magnesium glycinate 3-in-1, and I train twice a day, so that's probably half the reason, and I'm on low carbs. But anyway, I'm waffling now. Listen everyone, I am rooting for you. Until next time, peace out. I'll see you all soon.